right, sim racing fans, and welcome to LSRTV's Friday night doubleheader right here on iRacing Live. Tonight, the Roddcar Truck Tour, the first half of our doubleheader, will be at Bristol Motor Speedway. 125 laps for the Truck Series to do battle on this little bull ring. When we come to Bristol, what do we think of? We think of carnage. A whole bunch of it here, and we'll see what happens tonight. A lot of beating and banging, I'm sure, will come place during this race. And I'm Andy Kessler. Joined tonight with me is, of course, Gabriel Wood up here in the booth, and we got Cisco Scaramuzza down in the production trailer getting that picture to you. Gabe, welcome to Bristol, and it always puts on some for excitement, and a lot of times a little pushing and shoving, some beating and banging is what we'll always see here.
Yeah, thank you, Andy. Another first-timer for me in the broadcast booth. First time at Bristol, so I really don't know what to expect. The only races I've run or seen are from the driver's seat, and I know it gets crazy. First couple laps, it's, everybody's trying to find their place in line. You really want to be on that outside lane as high up as you can get, especially in turns 1 and 2, to get that car turned down. But the attrition rate, Andy, is going to be high tonight. And, not only during the race, but during qualifying, so far we've got 31 cars in the server, top 30 make it. So there's going to be one car going home at the end of the night.
Yeah, there absolutely is. And when you talk about 30 trucks on this half-mile high-bank speedway, it can get very touchy at times. And we talk about maybe some tempers flying. But you talked about just a moment ago that, those first few laps, it's really a nervous time for all these drivers because, like you said, you're trying to figure out which lane you want to be in. A lot of times now, since the most recent builds over the last year or so, that high line here has really come into play and really been that really probably dominant line that you'll see these guys have. They'll carry that momentum on that top side all the way down these real short straightaways, and we'll see a lot of that as we go too. But you got to be careful, that guy on the bottom side. A lot of times that truck likes to push up off the corners, and that's where we can see a lot of calamity. Plus, the fact that this track is so small and everything happens so fast, you'll see a lot of things happen in front of drivers, and you'll just see them pile right into the accident as they go. So that's one thing we're going to have to watch out tonight. That track can really get clogged up pretty quick. So, with that said, obviously last week we get to do a 1.5 mile speedway. We come into this week here. We get a nice little short track, a fast short track, and then next weekend, of course, we go to another short track, Gabe. 2 weeks in a row with short tracks, but two totally different types of animals. You got a high-banked, high-speed short track here, but then you got the one-lane Martinsville Speedway, which we'll see next weekend also.
Well, Andy, this track, it's almost like Martinsville, just the groove is up high. You can try and work that bottom as much as you want, but unless you've got a really good car, you're not going to make it work. And, that's almost like Martinsville we saw with the Ascor series. They, a couple of the drivers actually could make that outside lane work for a couple laps. We could see that tonight. A couple guys making the bottom lane work for a couple laps, but eventually that outside lane is going to prevail.
Yeah, that outside lane will definitely prevail as the tires start to wear out. 125 laps. We're probably going to see our fair share of cautions over the night, so that's going to give guys opportunity. But at the same time, track position is huge when you come to these short tracks because they're so hard to pass on. The racing room is so tight as it is to actually make a real good, clean pass. We actually saw a nice short track race at Martinsville with the trucks on Wednesday night right here on LSRTV. The Ascor SegPace Series went to Martinsville, and you could just see the patience of the drivers after about 50 laps into the race. They started getting real impatient. That's probably something we'll see here tonight too.
Oh yeah, they're going to get impatient, but you're going to have to look out. Like I said, a couple times before, that outside lane is going to be the one you're going to want to run. You can't really do that bump and run with somebody on the outside of the racetrack, and if you do, you're basically going to stack up everybody behind you. So you're going to have to pick and choose, how you want to run this race, and if you want to get a little bit testy with that front bumper.
And running the high line obviously has its issues. You have that wall that's right up there, so you cannot have any mistakes when you're running that close to the wall over the course of this night. And being up on the wheel for the whole 125 laps is definitely what it's going to take for somebody to prevail here tonight at Bristol, and we can't wait to see that happen. But first, we're going to send it down trackside for tonight's national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the
On behalf of iRacing.com, Motorsports Simulation, LSRTV, and iRacing Live, we'd like to welcome you back here to Bristol Motor Speedway. That was a beautiful rendition by Jaden Berkey of our national anthem, and qualifying's getting set to wrap up here. Like the timer has finally hit 0, so we're going to rack them and stack them and give you the LSRTV starting grid for tonight. And on the pole, it's definitely not a surprise. That 32 truck set the Merchant with a time of a 14.778, and to his outside, just 1/100th off of his time. Mark Jorgensen Jr. going to start on the outside pole, starting third tonight. The 26 of Rod Flagg. Corey Henry in that 12 truck will start fourth, and fifth will be the 99 of Kyle Manger.
Ryan Keese in the 24 is going to roll off in the 6th position, in the 9th position, and Frank Brasilia III in that 94 is going to start 10th.
The 23 of Jared Haggerty will roll.
And Christian Peterson in the 71 is going to roll off 7th. 8th is going to go to Daniel Ferguson.
Off 11th. Outside row number 6, that's the 89 of Matt Quick. Shane McEachin in the 28 will start 13th. 14th goes to Jason Altmans, and Casey Malone starts 15th.
16th going to go to the 64, Alex Hallinar. 17th is going to go to Sean Boundy. Raymond Evans in 18th, and Laura Lawson in that 50 is going to start 19th. 20th is going to go to James Pileski.
21st starting spot goes to 75 of Josue Ramirez. Dana Osborne, the 8 truck, will start 22nd. 23rd is the 088 of Kent Connolly. Brandon Monsivice will start 24th. 25th goes to Tommy Hall.
Sean Carter in the 36 is going to start 26. Derek Walker, in the 27th position. 28th is going to go to Rodney Wofford. 29th goes to Ray Rittenauer the 2nd. Mark Emery in 30th, and he will be your final starter. Larry Camp in the 33 did not make the cutoff point and has been sent home tonight.
30 trucks getting set to get the show underway, and the pace car will shortly begin to pull off of the grid here. And final thoughts at Bristol. I mean, we got 2 fast trucks up front. We got one guy in the 88, Mark Jorgensen Jr., who's trying to make this a rebound year after a horrible season he had at the end of 2015. Basically, in any race that he ran, it was tough for him to even finish a race. But so far this season in the truck tour, he's done a fantastic job of keeping that truck up front and getting some solid finishes. It's just going to be a matter of time before he gets himself into victory lane. And why not here? Why not Bristol Motor Speedway tonight? It could be his night. Top side, though, we talk about its advantages, Gabe. We're going to have to see on this restart if it'll really help these drivers out on that top side. We'll see if Jorgensen can actually maybe take the lead away from Set the Merchant. It's going to be tough, though. That 32 truck's pretty strong.
Well, Andy, you're talking about these guys wanting to finish races. A couple of these guys, they're thinking about that already. They're expecting a wreck here in the first couple laps because Looks like Ryan Keese in the 24 and Laura Lawson in the 50 trucks have asked for an EOL penalty, and they've gotten it. So they're going to start near the back. Laura Lawson started 19th. Ryan Keese started in 6th. So those guys are going to be put to the back for the start of this race. Could be a smart move for them. Save some tires and avoid a wreck if it happens.
Could be. Kind of surprised by the 12 truck making the move from the 6th spot. Usually track position is huge here at these short tracks, so he's definitely going to have his work cut out for him to make it up through the field. I'll definitely have to say, Gabe, at the beginning of this race, you're definitely going to be testing the patience of a lot of these drivers, and you're going to have to see who's got the cooler head here in the early going to see who's going to give and take, or who's going to give and not take. Pace car, though, going to look to the safety of pit road, and the green flag is out for the first time here at Bristol Motor Speedway. Look at that top side. A pretty good jump by the 88, but Seth the Merchant's going to hold him off on the bottom off turn number 2. He's going to get that lead by 2 truck lengths now as they head to turn number 3. Pretty good battle right now. A couple trucks already on the high side and towards the middle of the top 10. But everybody so far is single filed out or wrecked now.
Oh, we got a caution
in the speedway, and it looks like in turn number 2, 28 was involved, and also the 4 truck. So Shane McEachin brings out our first caution, and we'll see what happened with that. If we can pull up the replay for that 28 machine. And Gabe, that's I don't know if he thought he was clear or what was going on there.
No, don't know. It looks like he just washed up the racetrack, just coming off the corner there on the start-finish line. Running in the 10th position, pulls up in front of the 23. That's Jared Haggerty in the 23 running 11th. And he goes up and over, slides on his roof, and ends up going on top of the safer barrier. So he pulls a Rusty Wallace flip at Bristol and pulls a Martin Truex riding the wall.
He did it all right there in one caution flag, and so already the 32, the Seth the Merchant in that 28 machine already having trouble here early on, and I'm not sure, maybe a little bit of net code involved in that as well, but Shane McEachin having some issues right there. The 23 of Jared Haggerty involved as well, but the majority of the damage going to that 28 machine. So that bottom side, at least on the restart with the fresh tires, look pretty strong for Seth the Merchant in that 32. Obviously, only about 2 laps into this run that these guys will not come down pit road to get service to their machines, and track position is what we're going to be talking about all night long, and we're going to have to see if some of these guys can move up from the back to the front over the course of the night, maybe trying some pitch strategy. We will have to see. Frank Busilian at 94, though, already making up 4 spots just in those 2 laps, already up to the 6th spot. So pretty good job by that 94 there, starting on the outside lane. So the outside lane, we saw work for a couple guys there in the first couple laps. They went immediately to that high side, but you saw some of these other guys right on the bottom early on before these tires wear out, trying to utilize the advantage of having fresh tires and trying to make it stick on the bottom. As this race goes on, though, Gabe, and the tires start to, or track starts to rubber in, they'll definitely make for some interesting racing. These trucks will start sliding around. You'll start seeing these guys searching for grip all over the racetrack.
Yeah, and, we saw the 88 of Mark Jorgensen working that bottom. That might be his plan to kind of work in that bottom lane all by himself, and maybe the few cars behind him that do it. Because, yeah, Andy, once this track gets rubbered up, that high lane is going to get slick, and it's going to start slowing down, and that inside lane is going to have a little bit of an advantage for a couple laps until that side, and it's just going to get interesting after that. You were talking about Busilia moving up 4 spots. Look at here. Sean Bounty started 17th up to 10th, and right behind him, Josue Ramirez in the 75 started 21st up to 12th. So these guys, big movers in the field so far.
Yeah, it's not too shabby with only a couple of green flag laps there. Maybe a couple of those cars that slowed up or spun there during that caution there might have helped these guys as well get a couple spots. But, yeah, that's key right there for these guys that started towards the back, is to see how quickly they can move themselves up towards the front. And it'll be interesting to see as this moves on. The field's going to stack up, double file. Once again, we'll get set to get our first restart of the night underway, and Seth the Merchant looking for that big jump like he had the last time around. We'll see if he'll be able to get it done. He had the choice. He had the lane choice, and he decides this time to take that bottom side. And I think with the advantage of being the control car, I think that definitely helps. maybe doesn't quite matter exactly which lane you take. But pace car back to pit road. Set the Merchant looking to lead the field back under the green flag.
Oh, big
It's pretty
checkup
good
back
job.
on the-
Oh, yeah, huge checkup on the bottom side. Looks like the 12 of Corey Henry might have missed a shift. Everybody able to keep it straight for now. 3 wide, though, off of turn number 2. That was close. Rod Flag on the outside. He had the 94, Frank Busilia, right there. As we got a battle for the lead shaping up. Inside lane, 88, trying to make it work right now off 2.
Trying to make that bottom side of the racetrack work. Not working for him. 32, Set the Merchant gets clear. Is going to pull out around 88. Even when he gets clear, he's committed to running that bottom. But look back here. 26 Rod Flag in that Cheerios Chevrolet. He's coming up through the field. He started about 5th or 6th on the restart, up to 3rd. So he's making it work while these leaders are battling side by side, or at least close to it. He's just kind of chomping at the bit. And look at the 94 Busilia. He's up to 5th.
Yeah, he's moving up nicely up to that 4th spot actually right now. Just got past the 12 of Corey Henry, and why these two leaders battle like they are right now, that's bringing that 26 real close to the action now as they race their way off of turn number 4, across the start-finish line. Will complete lap number 11 right now. And Mark Jorgensen Jr., he's not giving up on that bottom line just yet. But I really think as these tires start to wear in, you're really going to start to see these trucks start to move to the high side right there off of turn number 4. Able to get up to the back bumper of the 32 and unable to get right up next to him as they go down the back straightaway and back into turn 3.
He's trying it. He's getting pretty close. I think once that bottom lane gets some rubber in it from him running it, and maybe that 26 running, because it looks like they're running about the same line. 26 drifts up the racetrack this time, but that line might start coming in. This is one of your battles on the racetrack. Looks like back in the pack, a couple guys fighting side by side that seem to have settled out around the 89 of Matt Quick. Those guys settle it out. A couple update on the guys who took EOLs there on the start. Looks like Ryan Keeson, the 24, he's up to the 20th position. Started dead last on the field after taking that EOL. The 50 of Laura Lawson up to 18th. She was scheduled to start 19th, ended up starting it with the EOL. So good recovery for both of these guys. Big wreck behind.
Huge wreck, the 93 of James Pileski involved with that, able to keep it straight as of now. Will stay green flag racing. We're talking about guys moving up through the field already. Look at Josue Ramirez. We talked about him under caution. He's already up inside the top 10, so a great job, great run for him here early on right now, and that's a great job by him. We look up front, though, and we talked about the top 3 being real close. Well, the top 2 now have started to separate themselves from Rod Flag. Rod Flag starting to fall back just a bit. Mark Jorgensen Jr. at least able, for the time being, keep that 32 right in front of him, and they continue to battle for that race lead as we complete lap number 18 right now. Another thing we're going to have to keep an eye on as this race goes on, and as these green flag laps start to tick away, lap traffic comes in pretty quickly at this racetrack. Lap time, they're running lap times of 15 seconds around this place. Oh,
It's at the 4 truck almost around off turn 2.
wow, we got close calls all over the place. That's Tommy Hall, who was battling around that 16th spot, and now he's all the way back, scored in the 26th spot, 28th make that, is across the start-finish line. He's the next truck to go a lap down, and right now that puts him just only about a second and a half from our race leaders right now, so it won't be too long. You'll see that 4 truck start to get overtaken by our race leaders, but I was talking lap traffic. It can play a havoc for these leaders, for anybody on the lead lap trying to make their way around them. Especially when, there's nothing to say. They can't, pick a lane. And if they pick that high lane to run, it's going to make it tough for these leaders to get by. And you can see right now, Set the Merchant and the 88 of Mark Jorgensen Jr. able to catch up to the 4. But wisely, Tommy Hall jumps to the bottom of the racetrack, lets these leaders race it out like they are right now. Still nose to tail for that race lead, and pretty good battle it's been since the drop of the green flag.
Yeah, that's the one difficult thing about racetracks here is Mark Emery on the outside of the racetrack. They get around him, both those 2 lead drivers. He's going to fall in the clutches of the 4 Tommy Hall. But these multi-groove racetracks, here comes the 88 again as we got a caution. He almost got there, but now we got a caution.
We got a caution on the speedway. Second one of the night. It's going to be the 83 of Ramon Evans involved in that one. He's slow on the racetrack right now, and hopefully we can get the replay up to you and see what happened as the replay goes on your screen. And heading down into 3 and going through 3 and 4, and it looks like the 99 hit the wall coming off of turn number 4 and just came down into the 83 truck. So just a product of running out of room right there, hits the wall, and there's nothing Ramon Evans could have done right there for that. So pit road's open, obviously, and it looks like our leaders finally deciding to take that gamble here as we work lap 25.
Look for any weird pit strategy. 75, Ramon Ramirez, or Josue Ramirez drives through his pit road. He's going to come through it again. Don't know if he missed his pit stall or something, but he drove through pit road. Looking back here at the battle, looks like the 88, or excuse me, this pit road's got me confused, but it looks like the 32 won the battle off pit road. 88 just kind of got in front of him after that exchange, so he just let him go.
That was pretty interesting right there. I'm not sure what the 75 did right there. He just kind of just drove through both pit roads. So maybe he just, yeah, he might not have known which stall he had or which end of pit road. So interesting right there, and tough break for him. We saw him come through the field already, so we'll have to see what he does on this next one. But we'll have to see what he does under the green flag. So we'll see what the 75 can do, see if he can make his way back up through the field. Seth the Merchant, though, continuing to be our leader, doing a great job out there up front, but he's had pressure all night so far from that 88, Mark Jorgensen Jr. Pretty much just riding behind him, waiting for that 32 to make a mistake, but we've seen many races with that 32 truck, or even when he runs in the I Super Speedway Series. It's very far and few between when we see that 32 really make a mistake, but when you got a tight, narrow, fast racetrack like this, and when you got to run that high side and how close you run to the wall, I don't care how good you are, a mistake could definitely happen.
Oh yeah, one of the advantages of running the high lane, if you're making a mistake, it hurts a little bit less. But interesting to see that 32. He's been having some good restarts there on the bottom side of the racetrack, so we should see him choose the outside lane when the lights go out. Does that happen this time? It does. So we're going to go back racing this time, Andy. A little update on your drivers again who got the EOLs, just to get a little progress. Ryan Keese in 15th, Laura Lawson in 8th. In that 50 truck. So those guys making some moves. They're coming up through the field.
Yeah, a little bit of strategy on pit road. Maybe just some really good stops by them right now as it looks like they cross the start-finish line, and we will double them up for our second restart of the night. Top 5 looks like this right now. Seth the Merchant, Mark Jorgensen Jr., Corey Henry, Frank Busili in that 94, Sean Bounty rounds out the top 5. Good move for him, all the way from 17th to that top 5. So good job by that 34 truck here early on in this one. Ken Connolly, another one right there in the top 10, started 23rd on the night. So already seeing some guys start to move around all over the place here and up to the front, and some guys having trouble and moving towards the back. So pace car down the pit road once again. Our second restart getting set to get underway. Set the Merchant really slowing the field up. Green flag back in the air. That's going to check up that bottom side. They'll be able to corral themselves now as they go 3 wide for that second spot. Oh, Frank Basilia going to stay out of it there just a bit. 88 and Mark Jorgensen definitely.
Oh, big wreck in the back.
Looks like the 088 Ken Connolly, our third caution of the night here, and that happened right there going into turn number 1. And tough break for him, and it looks like about 4 or 5 other trucks involved right there, but looks like just made some contact with that 13 truck of Kelly Dawes. The replay goes up on your screen, and it looks like they were trying for some 3-wide action, but Kelly Dawes was looking to go to the outside there, and the 20 nowhere to go, the 4, and everybody just piles in there. You had about 6 other trucks involved after the fact right there. Pretty interesting. Sounds like a screen freeze. So, on the 50 had a screen freeze on that one. So, all right, we'll get to rack them up again, and there we go. Everybody's back up and moving now, so that's good. Well, our third caution of the night, and I'd have to say 3 already in 32 laps is pretty. I wasn't expecting that many. I knew we'd have our fair share. This is definitely a tough place to run, and actually, I want to welcome in our driver analyst. He's a little bit late. We started at 8 o'clock there, my friend. How you doing, Josh?
Good. Yeah, I know we started at 8, and it took me a little bit longer to get down here to Bristol. I got lost. Yeah, I got lost. I don't know where I was going. So Anyway, yeah, Bristol is very tough to tame racetrack, as you guys already had 3 cautions tonight. So this half mile, we call it the Beehive. I'm sure it's pretty interesting out there for all the drivers already.
Yeah, it's one of those racetracks we talk about all the time. There's certain tracks on the service that you either love them or you hate them. And I think this is one of those places like Martinsville where you either love this place or you hate it. So I'm sure for some guys, listen, you may hate it, but some nights have a good finish, but it doesn't change the fact that you don't like coming here and don't like racing here. But it's real cool to see Bristol on the schedule for the first time in the Roddcar Truck Tour in its second season here on LSRTV, and it's pretty cool to see these guys here. But we take a look at the names up front. We've been talking about most of them for most of the night. Corey Henry being one of those that started in top 5. He's right there in second now after Mark Jorgensen Jr. had trouble on that restart. It looked like he missed a shift or spun the tires, did something there. Really checked up that top side, and that cost him a couple positions there. But Seth the Merchant, obviously the class of the field so far, leading every single lap that we've run here tonight. Sean Bounty, he's moved up another spot, or a couple spots there after this restart. He's going to restart in that 3rd position from 17th. A few guys making some moves early on, and I love when we see guys coming from the back all the way to the front. I mean, we can even go back to 13th. Ray Rittenauer started 29th on the grid. He's sitting 13th now as the field gets ready to double up again. But, Gabe, you think these guys got it out of their system, or you think we got more to come here?
It's Bristol. You never get out of your system. These guys are just going to race hard and race till the end of to the end of the race. It's just the product of Bristol. You can't really do anything about it. It's just, close quarters racing, everybody fighting for that top line, or at least the fastest way around the racetrack they can get, and they just run out of real estate, especially off the corners. It's almost like Atlanta or California. It's weird to say that as we come back to the green flag. It kind of just pushes up off the corner, and you just cannot get the car turned as we're back under the green flag racing. The 12 of Corey Henry gets a good restart. He's got that outside lane moving, but look on that inside lane. 32 is Seth the Merchant. He makes it work. 34 to the inside of the 12. Sean Bounty going for that 2nd position. Not going to happen so far. And here comes Jorgensen trying to make his way back up front.
Yeah, he's trying to make his way back up using that top side. Frank Busilia, 94 in the wall, and he gets spun, but the 71 caution flag is out. Christian Peterson ended up getting in the back of him, but it looked like the 94 got into the wall off the corner, and there was just nowhere for that 71 to go. Slight contact, spun him around, and caution number 4. Early on in this race here, working lap number 38 right now of 125 that are on the schedule distance for this evening's race. And Josh, we talked about it a lot as far as driver attitude and the whether they love or hate it, but this is one of those tracks where you got to be patient, especially early in the run. Let things get spread out. But how hard is it when you're out here running as fast as these guys do around this little racetrack to be patient? I know it's a race. You want to be on the throttle and you want to go, 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 go. But you got to use a little common sense and a little bit of, patience is the easiest word to figure out there.
Yeah, and the biggest thing being a driver out there is this place is so hard to pass. I at least know in the Cup Series and in those cars, it's really hard to pass here. And I haven't been here too much tonight, but I guarantee you there's a lot more chance to succeed on the caution, on the green flag, get the restart, and get like 3 or 4 positions than you are gonna once everybody starts getting in a groove and has a line that they're running. It's really hard to pass around this place just because those walls come out at you so quick off of turn 2, and it's so surprising that you really you think you're getting a good run on the outside on somebody or trying to get the inside, and then you just lose all momentum when that wall jumps out at you, or you get loose off of 2. So it's really a tough place. So a lot of these guys, hats off to DeMerchant, Corey Henry that are up front right now along with Jorgensen, just able to keep it up there without spinning out. It's one of the hardest racetracks here on the NASCAR circuit.
Yeah, it definitely is, and a lot of car control, a lot of that. And you talk about the coming off the corners just being so tight. You run out of racing room, and it happens so quickly that you really have no time to react. And that's exactly what happened on that last caution with Frank Busilia. Just ran out of room, got into the wall just ever so slightly, but it kills your momentum. And all these trucks that are coming in behind, they're up to speed, and there's just literally no time to react to something like that. So it makes it real tough as a driver. You really got to be on top of your game, on your toes, and trying to hopefully do it. But an evasive move by the 71 would have just pushed him down into somebody else that was below him. So it's he was in a no-win situation at that point. Really had nothing better to do, or nothing he could do better than to get into the back of the 94. And it wasn't even that hard of a hit. It was just enough to get that truck to spin out of control.
Yeah, you know what? This is an interesting week here for Roddcar and the Ice Super Speedway Series. Two very different racetracks, but they require almost the same amount of concentration. Bristol, it's so fast, and there's so many cars on the racetrack in such a little area. And then Daytona, it's so fast, or the Daytona and Talladega, it's so fast. And there's 43 guys around you. They're almost the same level of concentration. Just trying to run side by side with somebody, run your line, and not try and hit them. That's basically the same thing we're going to see at the Super Speedway.
That is absolutely what we're going to see later on tonight, right here at Daytona. Feature night. We'll have a 25-lap B main, followed by a 50-lap A main. So that'll be awesome to watch and fun for these guys as we head back to Daytona for the I Super Speedway Series. Pace car back to pit road, our 5th restart of the night. Green flag is out. Top 2, good jump by both of them now as they race side by side back into turn number 1. The bottom lane going to prevail once again. That 32 truck's just been too strong on that bottom side.
Yeah. And Seth the Merchant last week just dominating the field, and this week just coming back out and leading pretty much most of the races from what I heard you guys talking about. Just getting in the groove. A lot of times that's one of the biggest things here in NASCAR is, getting your mojo, getting in the groove, and just racing. Oh, we got a little bit of spin there back. It looked like the 24 maybe got a little bit of sideways. That is the 24 of Ryan Keith there in turn 1 and 2. Just unfortunately got to hit the wall a little bit with a contact another car and got loose. But back up front, Seth the Merchant is still doing pretty good. But the 88 now taking over second place. He's looking in on Seth, so go for that pass.
That he is going to duck down to the bottom side, not be able to make it stick. Oh, and the 34.
Oh, Sean Bounty in the wall.
Yeah, 34. Sean Bounty just got into the wall, but good piece of driving by that 51. Jason Altman's to avoid him. They'll keep it straight right now. Bounty just loses one position. This battle for the lead still continues to heat up. You can see right there the 88 wants to push up and use all the racetrack coming off the corner. Unable to do so as that 32 still on the outside, using that outside lane and all that momentum to his advantage right now, and pulls out to about a 2 truck length lead right now as they exit turn number 4 at 12 of Corey Henry. Slipped up just a bit, lost a second spot. He's been able to keep these leaders in sight right now as they continue to work. Lap number 49. Complete that lap this time as they exit turn number 4. 75 laps still left to go here tonight at Bristol.
It's like the 7, Rodney Wolford pulls off the racetrack. He's very slow there on the bottom. He was running the 6th position. Now he's just putting around the apron right now in the 21st position as we got another caution.
Another caution on the speedway. Like the 93 was involved, James Pileski. That would be the second time he's been involved. Some sort of collision here on the speedway, but looks like a little bit of a couple guys down at the bottom of the apron. And then looks like Tommy Hall. Oh, that was huge net code as Tommy Hall came back up the racetrack, and that definitely looked like a lot of net code on that one. There's about 40 feet in between those two trucks.
Oh,
right
good Lord. You can fit a whole car between them.
Yeah, you can at least fit a whole nother truck there, and I don't know what iRacing server was thinking on that one, but obviously the 4 Tommy Hall and the 93 of Pileski's internet connection did not mingle there pretty well, but unfortunately the most damage on that one, Pileski having a little bit, not too bad though. It was pretty much just a little bit of a spin, not too much damage, but all these guys are going to have damage out there tonight. Yeah, short track, that's what they're made for, so these trucks can definitely take a banging and still go pretty fast.
iRacing,
yeah.
We've got a week till the build. Cough, cough, fix it, cough.
Yeah, fix that is right. Caution out again. Pit road was open. We saw some strategies going on right there, and the only person in the top 10 or so that stayed out A 32 truck is Seth the Merchant. They ran 25 laps on that first run before everybody came down to pit road, and this time it was another 25 laps, but looks like we're going to have some different strategies with all these drivers as looks like some waiver rounds are going to happen right now. The 87 going to go around as well, so everybody getting their waiver rounds right now. Here goes the 11 as well, and it looks like Sean Bounty came in that 4th spot, and he's going to come out first off pit road, and he's going to be right there behind the 32 of Seth the Merchant when they get reset and go. Look at the 75. Good rebound for that 75. He had some trouble, and on the first round of pit stops, he wasn't sure where his pit box was. He drove through both pit roads there trying to figure out where he was supposed to be, and finally figured that out, but he had to start from the back, so a little bit of strategy under this caution will get him up in that 4th spot. Top 5, though, right now, Seth the Merchant, Sean Bounty, Ron Flagg in 3rd, Jose Ramirez, 75 truck, sits there 4th, and the 88, Mark Jorgensen Jr., will restart in that 5th spot. Crazy things already have happened here tonight. Sure, it's not the end of it.
Yeah, you're right, Andy. And that 32 of Seth the Merchant, he is a sitting duck. A terrible sitting duck right now. I mean, you got all these guys out here, Gabe, that just came in and at least got 2 tires, and now Seth's out there like, oh, I should have went in there. I really got screwed. So I wonder what's really going through his head.
I think Seth's only hope right here on this restart is getting that run we've seen him get all night here on the restarts. On that bottom lane, that's his only hope of holding on this lead for any sort of time. As the pace car rolls around here, that 34 Sean Bounty, he's got to be licking his chops there on the outside. He's got a perfect opportunity to take this lead and take the lead for the first time away from the 32 of Seth the Merchant. So as we ride around here 2 by 2, we're going to be lined up for the restart. Pace car is going to pull off to the inside. Look for the tire spin on the restart from the 32. Here we go. Green flag back in the air. Looks like the 34 is going to get a good jump here going into turn 1. Outside lane's going to...
Oh, gone around, already around. 51, the 8, the 94.
Oh, contact up front, the 34, Sean.
Oh, and the 75 around. Oh, and the 88. Oh. It's wrecking all over the place, Andy.
Yeah, they are. 6th of the night right there. And caution flag is going to come out for the 88 of Mark Jorgensen Jr. getting into the back of Jose Ramirez right there. And then right there is just 3 wide racing is what it was looking out to be. Looks like the 75 going to regain his position, though, it looks like. Maybe.
He's
looking for that 88.
Yeah, if you get a replay on that. Look at the replay. I don't know if we can get it up here, but that 88 dive bombs. Like, he was just like, I'm hauling it in here, and just literally pretty much takes out that 75. There was nowhere for that 88 to really go.
It's Bristol, boys.
it's Bristol, baby. Oh, yeah, that's a dive bomb if I've ever seen one. So, well, we got to restart and stack them up once again. Seth the Merchant gonna stay out again under this caution flag and choose the track position once again and get a couple more wave rounds. We see some more trucks going around right now. The 11 of Kelly Dahl looking kind of going all over the place here, trying to weave in and out of the trucks to get around.
I was wondering what was happening there.
Yeah,
I was like, going through trucks? Oh, I'm just going to go through here. Excuse me, guys.
He's racing under the caution flag.
Get as many positions as you can under the caution, remember.
You know what I'm thinking? One more person who's going to be looking for a little bit of revenge, that 34 Sean Bounty. While we were paying attention to the little wreck back there in the pack and then the 75 getting spun, Seth the Merchant kind of squeezed him up into the wall there and sent him back a couple positions. Now he's going to be lined up right behind him in that 3rd position. We may see a little bumping and banging going into 1.
Well, that we could. We actually could. Oh! Look at the 32 heading down pit road, deciding, I guess I don't need that track position. It's going to be interesting to watch that 32, how fast he's been all night to come back up through the field here. So, that's the first lead change. Gabe just mentioned that there. That's the first lead change of the night. So that'll put that 26 truck through the race lead and give him a much-needed bonus point there. Give him a lap lead. Sean Bounty will now start on the outside. Mark Jorgensen Jr., Jason Altmans, and the 71, Christian Peterson, will be our top 5 when they get set to get back under racing. 6 cautions and 60 laps, guys. We've averaging about, I would say, 6 laps of caution before each caution there, because we're getting about 4 laps under each caution. So it's been quite a interesting night so far, and it's just one of them tough tracks. You want to put it on the schedule at times to just to have something different, but then when you see what happens here sometimes with all the cautions and the tempers and all that happens at these racetracks, it really makes you think twice, maybe at least on the next season, to put it back on the schedule. So we'll have to see what happens there. I love changing it up, and I'll love to watch next week. Will be fun too, as the series heads to Martinsville Speedway, another great short track on the schedule. So
oh gosh,
whoever pissed whoever off this week, you got a chance to redeem yourself next week. So we'll see that.
I'll tell you what,
I'm sure.
I'll tell you what, while we're coming to the restart, LSRTV drinking game. Next time we say caution, every time you say it, take a drink.
Yeah, there you go.
Exactly. Everybody be drunk.
Yeah, we'll be done by the time the Ice Super Speedway Series starts. Look at that outside line 34. Sean Bounty with a big run over Rod Flag.
There it is. Jorgensen said, "Get out of the way, Rod Flag." Jorgensen run. It's a big cluster there on the front straightaway. Oh man, Jorgensen making some moves tonight.
I don't
Everybody
think
get your glass ready.
I don't think he's making any friends.
Get your glass ready. We got a caution.
Caution.
That's your first drink, everybody.
7th one. Well, actually, take 6 more just to make up for the first 6. All right.
And really, I just think that in that one, Jorgensen's been dive bombing since I've been watching here in the last, 20 minutes or so, and he's dive bombing, but he's got a great run into the corner. I just don't expect you really think Rod to slow down that fast. And then Pileski came up right behind him and just said, "Bump once, here you go." The second one, "Oops, sorry, you're gone around. Your turn to spin out." So,
well, maybe he was getting the payback for Rod right there.
But the funniest thing, look at where that 88 is scored. He is out front. When the time of the caution, he got his position back. Oh, yeah, actually, sorry, correction, everybody watching. He is the front car, but he did not get that position. He is the last car in the lead lap, as you see him go around the pace car right now. That would have been really strange, Andy.
By the time he would have he got back going, the pace car had already come out, so he got trapped behind him. So,
Andy, I just want to point out, look at 3rd place.
I know, I was just going to say, look at that.
And look at 4th.
And look how clean that truck looks.
And look right behind him, the complete opposite, the 4 of Tommy Hall.
Yeah, you got cars out there,
but he's taking it to a 4th place.
Yeah, he's up to that 4th. Well, that just shows you. I mean, this type of racetrack, obviously the aerodynamics don't come into play. It's all about handling. It's all about downforce. And I guess if the fenders and everything's beat the right way, it might give you a little bit more downforce. But we've crossed that halfway point, so let's go through and give you the iRacing Midway race break right here. And that's, of course, brought to you by iRacing.com, the leader in motorsport simulations and the official sim racing partner of NASCAR. Sean Bounty, your current leader. Jason Altman sits 2nd. 3rd is Laura Lawson. Tommy Hall is 4th. 5th is Sean Turner. Christian Peterson runs 6th. 7th is Shane DeMerchant. Or Seth DeMerchant.
Really?
Wow, I'm getting those guys mixed up. Matt Quick in 8th. 9th is Alex Hallinar, and 10th is Rod Flag.
Jared Haggerty in the 23 is going to be in 11th. 12th is right now Daniel Ferguson. Mark Jorgensen, we saw him put the bumper to the 26. He's running in 13th. Frank Busili in the 94 is running 14th. 15th, Corey Henry. James Pileski, we've seen him on a couple cautions running 16th. 17th goes to Josue Ramirez. We saw him get spun, but kept it going straight. Got a lot of damage on it, but he's still in the running. 18th goes to Kyle Manger. Ray Rittenauer in 19th. 20th, Brandon Monsaveas.
Last car in the lead lap, Dana Osborne says 21st. 2 laps down, Ryan Keith, Mark Emery, Kelly Dolph, top 24. 25th sits Rodney Wofford. 26, all cars that are going to be out now. Derek Walker, Kent Connolly, Casey Malone, Ramon Evans and Shane McEachern are all off at this point, still under repair. That's your top 30.
And that has been your iRacing Midway Race Break. For more information on the wide variety of racing possibilities on the web, visit iRacing.com and sign up today. Field is stacked up 2 by 2. You have to keep an eye on that 50 truck who restarts in the 3rd spot. Here's the pace car, looks for pit road. Sean Bounty going to lead the field to the green flag, stacks them up just a bit. Green flag back in the air. Pretty good jump on that bottom side. He should be able to clear that 51 before they exit turn number 2. Here comes that 51 Altmans. He's looking for that race lead in turn number 3.
We got one wrecking Rod flag around there in turn 3. That saved it.
Rod flag able to keep going. Looks like we got one more car in the wall in the front straightaway. Looks like the 36 Sean Turner. He kept going. Little battle around there. Seth the Merchant trying to work his way back up front, or as Andy likes to call him, Shane, apparently. He is running in the 4th position coming up. Look at Laura Lawson in that 50. The team truck, the LSRTV, puts the bumper to the 51, gives him the shove, and he's going to go to the inside of Sean Bounty. Oh!
Oh, there goes that 50 of the LSRTV truck, the 51 of the Geek Squad. No caution, cursed there by the LSRTV booth. We stay green here at Bristol Motor Speedway.
So
Sean Bounty's sitting out
green.
front.
I am so shocked that did not bring out a caution flag right there. The 51 got into the wall. Nowhere for the 50 of Laura Lawson to go, and she will go a lap down as Sean Bounty races past her right now. Off of turn number 4, the leader, the 34 truck of Sean Bounty's got a pretty comfortable lead now at this point. It's there about 1.3 seconds now over the 36 of Sean Turner, who runs second. Seth the Merchant has made his way back up to that 3rd spot right now, but he's got a couple of lap traps in front of him and the race leader, and Sean Bounty continuing to pull away now as we race off of turn number 2, and that 34 truck looks pretty stout when nobody's around him.
Yeah, I think we're finally seeing what Sean Bounty can do up there. He put out those new tires when everybody else did except Seth the Merchant. You know, he's up there leading by 1.3 seconds, gap coming down just a little bit. Sean Turner catching him about half a 100th. It's not much, but he's coming just bit by bit back there. Seth the Merchant going for the pass on, or at least trying to, on the 64 Alex Hallinar in 3rd position. Looks like 50 Laura Lawson. She's fighting back against these lead lap trucks as Sean Turner takes the inside trying to get around her. That's going to allow the 64 to get in a 64 on the wall.
Alex Hallinar now into the wall. We stay green flag racing. Close one right there. And looks like that 50's trying to at least just stay one lap down right now as they race here. And the lead, though, as those guys were battling for that position, the lead has now stretched out to almost 2 seconds now with Sean Bounty. Gets a 3 wide.
Oh, there it is! He's going around! Oh, Sean Turner comes down into that 32 of Seth the Merchant, and that might have all but ended his night. Fastest truck on the track. And Andy, that was just really, I mean, a lap car that was holding everybody up. The Laura Lawson just was trying to hang and get that wave around, but unfortunately, that turn 2 wall sneaks out at you again, and Sean Turner unfortunately gets the 32 and causes a 3-car pile up there and going into turn 4.
Yeah, huge wreck there on lap number 79, and that's caution flag number 8. A whole bunch of trucks involved in there. Rod Flag, Jared Haggerty, a couple just to name a few. Pit road's open. Looks like the 34 truck. Like the 34 of Sean Bounty decides to come down pit road to get service to that 34 machine, and going to head back out onto the speedway. And that's one guy that was probably hoping for a green flag run to the end right there. He was leading with a pretty sizable lead, and we'll look at him obviously as things continue to go on. Everybody's starting to come off of pit road, getting some service done, getting some damage fixed on those cars, but we'll take a peek now at who's leading, and it looks like that 12 of Corey Henry. Nope, the 88, excuse me, the 88 of Mark Jorgensen Jr. back up to the race lead, and first time he's led a lap tonight. He's been up front the whole time, but at 88, there's nobody in front of him to punt this time. So we'll see what he can do on the restart.
Pace car's out there still.
It's probably a good thing you drive through the pace car in the sim and you can't actually hit it, because he probably would dive bomb him here going into one of these quarters.
I know, and Jorgensen's he's one of our best racers here in the Roddcar Truck Tour, and unfortunately tonight I think he's just been a little overzealous, trying to get too much at the same time, and everybody else out there just wanted to take it easy a little bit, and he's trying to get as much done as possible. But just a couple of updates. The 51 after that last incident is actually now out of the race. That is Jason Altman's. He disconnected, unfortunately. We have 17 cars left on the lead lap. Currently, your last car on the lead lap is Brandon Cruz Monstavis in the 35 truck. Monsavice, as I was corrected by everybody else, but we actually have a couple others in the pits, so he's actually going to move up a couple spots. But 17 trucks on the lead lap still, that's pretty good. I mean, starting out with 30, first time we're really at a half-mile track, Andy, and, you know, most of these guys are, well, no, I'm just going to say all these guys have damage. So there's really nobody out there.
I really don't think. Well, that 34 truck looks pretty clean now once he's gone down pit road. Maybe some damage to the right side is all, but the nose and the tail at least looks somewhat pretty clean for that 34 truck. But everybody going to get jumbled back up here. Get set for the restart the next time by. That will complete lap number 84 on the night. So just about 36 laps to go, or 39 laps, I should say, to go in this race. And going to be a fun one, I think. I don't think we've seen the last of the carnage at all here. Mark Jorgensen Jr. going to lead the field back to the green flag. Pace car is off. Looks like the green flag is back out. Pretty good jump right there. Jump. Mark Jorgensen Jr. to the inside will take that race lead. The battle for that third spot now is side by side. You got the 89. Oh, 34 in the wall.
Up and over.
Jared Haggerty, the 23, makes contact with that right rear corner. That sends that 34 right into the wall. And we're under caution again here at Bristol Motor Speedway for the 9th time, I believe. Unless I've lost track here, but
half a lap of green.
Well, it's about what we're averaging, I think, at the moment. So the contact there at the 23 looks like he's going to head down pit road. Maybe get some damage repaired on that thing. We'll see what happens. But Mark Jorgensen Jr., he was able to get a pretty good jump there on that restart. He was able to take that lead, and Corey Henry had to ride around behind him just for about a lap until the caution flag came out. But look at that 89 truck right there running a pretty special paint scheme. A couple days ago, we lost one of our beloved iRacing fellow competitors out there. Dylan Brockwell. I've known him for probably about 3 or 4 years now, racing on the sim, and got to call many races for that young man to victory lane, and definitely one of the best out there. And a young kid at 22 years old. He'll be sadly missed by all. So everyone from LSRTV, our thoughts and prayers are definitely with his family tonight and always.
You know what, Andy? Dylan, he went out on top because his last race was a race at Atlanta, and he beat none other than Kyle Larson. So he showed his talent up till the very end.
Oh, he absolutely did. And just a simple procedure that went wrong, and it's unfortunate. Young guy like that, just such a class act both on and off the racetrack. And his last broadcasted race that he was on was just a couple weekends ago for the pitstopsforhope.com benefit race for Laura Lawson, and he dominated that race that Saturday in the 500 miles at Daytona. And just his speech at the end was just shows you what type of guy he was. Very humble. Raced go-karts down in Virginia, so just a class act all around, and definitely be sadly missed by all. So tough break for him, and obviously our thoughts again are with his family tonight and every night, and we wish them the best.
Yeah, and great showing by all of the iRacing community. I haven't seen but post after post here on Facebook and all other sorts of social media, Brockwell Strong. And it's very nice that Matt Quick out there running the Brockwell Strong, hashtag Brockwell Strong truck. And seeing a lot of guys out there supporting as much as they can. And that's what the family really was asking for, was just, support and just celebrating his life, really. So everybody out there, I was lucky enough to call that race last week as well, a couple weeks ago when Dylan won, and definitely one of the special guys here on iRacing.
That he is, and he'll be sorely missed, and the racing will continue, and he's watching us from up above. Pace car getting set to head back down pit road. We'll get set to get this race back underway. It will be 90 laps complete. When we get the green flag, that'll leave us with 35 to go on the night here. It looks like it'll be close. We get a few more cautions, we might run out of time, so we might be racing the clock here at some point in this, but we'll keep an eye on that as we get set to get back underway. Mark Jorgensen Jr. going to lead field to the green flag, and it's out. Green flag is out. Pretty good jump. Stack up, though, on the bottom side. Looks like the 89 there. Matt Quick might have missed a shift or spun the tires there. He's going to fall back to that fourth position. Top four single file. It gets crazy now. 3 wide. Jose Ramirez looking to the bottom side. That's going to sort itself out pretty quick. The battle for that, like the 90.
Kelly Dahl around, up and over. Unfortunately, the 93 almost had a save there going into turn 2, but came back down. Unfortunately, clipped the 13 of Kelly Dahl up and over. Spun around mostly there in turn 2, but that's going to bring out our, infinity number caution. I think we're up to like almost 20 now, but
almost only 10.
But it's been pretty close. 10 and 44 laps. That's most of that's been under caution. Half a lap. What did we get there, guys? About a lap and a quarter. So
it's just it's one of those racetracks. It's either going to go green for a lot, or you're going to have a lot of carnage like this. So it's just one of those places that's tough to race, especially on the sim. It's totally different than when you're actually on the racetrack in a real car than doing it on the sim. It's definitely a lot more challenging, I would say. But Jorgensen getting it done, at least on the restarts, able to keep the lead. So pace car's leading the most laps here tonight. Most laps led.
Walk away with bonus points.
We'll give it to Evan Pasoka, who is not in the booth tonight because he's driving a pace car tonight. So pretty cool deal for him.
I wish I was driving a pace car. Yeah, I'd rather be there for sure doing that, and it'd be a lot of fun. And Rod Flag, the commissioner of the league, just posted that spectators are all dying from smoke poison from all these wrecks that we're having here tonight. So, unfortunately, that would not be good. Yeah, no mosquitoes, that's for sure. But that's pretty funny. But most of the guys you see, a couple of guys out there running around right now at the bottom with smoke still pouring out of their truck. So really just trying to limp along and get to the finish. Mark Jorgensen really, guys, I think is sitting in the best position. Even though he's got a beat-up truck, he's gotten a good restart every time. I think he's pretty much got that 12 of Corey Henry locked down on what he's doing on the restarts, and he's just getting out there. And really, if we look at the last 44 laps, just as we mentioned a couple seconds ago, 10 cautions. So really, we only need to get 2 or 3 more cautions. This thing's over, and we really are running close on time as well. So it's really his race to lose right now.
Yeah, that it is right now. Working the clock on lap about the 48th minute, and we get about 70 minutes to get it done. So it's getting close. We should be able to complete it, though. These lap times tick by pretty quick, about 15 seconds per lap. So we should be able to get it in as long as we can get some green flag laps under our belt here. Working lap number 96 right now, though, and at Bristol Motor Speedway, and it's been a fun one so far. Quite interesting. A lot of chaos, a lot of great action, a lot of highlight reel stuff as far as the cautions go. Some trucks doing some flips up in the catch fence, all kinds of things going on here with the big wrecks coming out all over the racetrack here tonight. And there's not one truck out there that I don't think that has at least one fender that's pushed in at the moment. Field getting stacked up, ready to go once again. Top 5 runs right now as they show. Mark Jorgensen Jr., Corey Henry, Christian Peterson, Matt Quick, and 75, Josue Ramirez in that 5th spot. Tommy Hall doing a good job. He's sitting there 6th right now, and you look at that top of the field right now, most of the guys up there have started deep in the field here tonight. Pace car going to look again to the safety of pit road this time off of turn number 4. And once again, that 88 truck gets the field slowed way down, and the green flag will wave once again. Pretty good start that time. Nobody really checking up the 89, maybe a little bit there going into turn number 1. We got a battle for that 3rd spot now. It's Corey Henry at the top side. You got Josue Ramirez on the bottom.
Yeah, and I tell you what, who got a really good restart, that's 71 of Christian Peterson. He's going to the bottom right now in the 88 of Mark Jorgensen. Battle for the lead, coming off a 2. He just doesn't have a good enough run. That's really what we talked about earlier. It's so hard to get a run off a 2, but you got battles all over the racetrack. Everybody's trying to get as much as they can. Jose Ramirez looking for the 3rd spot under Corey Henry. Corey Henry is not giving up. And another caution on the speedway. It looks like back there in turn 2, I'm not sure exactly what truck went around, Andy, but that's going to bring out, looks like the 94 of Frank Bucial was involved there. And him and the 64 of Halinar just unfortunately got a little involved there going into turn 1. And once again, we're under the 11th caution. That's right, folks. You heard it right. 11 tonight here at Bristol Motor Speedway.
That's it? Just 11?
It's only 100 laps, Andy.
Still got 25 more to go here right now. And it's like Jorgensen.
5 more
actually,
at least.
Yeah, Jorgensen's going to come down pit road. That'll leave that 71 out on the racetrack to assume the race lead here. So 88 of Jorgensen Jr. coming down for what would be his final time. And we'll see what happens with this. Everybody wants to make guesses who's going to win this race. And quite honestly, I think all the way down to 20th has an opportunity at this point.
Yeah, and I was just hearing over the radio. Sounded like Jorgensen was he wanted to come down and get tires. He thinks that he's got a good enough truck to really win this race, either from the back or the front. He just really told his crew chief, "Hey, I need some tires to get to the front here and win this one." But unfortunately, that's his call. But you got what, 20 laps or so now going to be when we come back to the green flag. So with these cautions happening every half a lap to a lap, he's going to have to pass about 5 to 6 trucks to get back to the lead. And one of those is Peterson and Corey Henry, which they've been pretty good all night.
Yeah, that they have. But very quietly, that 35 truck's been pretty good also. Starting at 24 spot, he's up to 3rd. Brandon Monsavice doing a good job getting up there. We saw the 94, Frank Bucilia, runs 4th right now. Kind of fall back a little bit there at the beginning. He came right up to the front. Once he did, rather quickly, had some trouble, got into the wall a couple times there, but he's got himself in a pretty good position here late in the going. The 64 of Alex Halinar as well, sitting there in the 5th spot. So we'll keep an eye on that 88 when we get back to racing here. When he got back in the pack like he is now, and he's not deep in the pack, but when he's gotten behind the race lead, this is when we really saw him really start to force the issue and dive bomb into the corners, and that's when we saw a couple cautions happen rather quickly. So we'll keep an eye on that 88 truck as this restart gets set to go underway, and we're going to hopefully double them up this next time by, and it looks like we probably will. Give us 20 laps to go when we finally get the green flag. We'll see if we can get 20 laps into green flag racing. That'll be pretty cool to end this thing that way, and we'll see what happens as far as that goes. And I don't know, Andy.
I don't think that's gonna happen. I'm sorry.
Well, you know what? Listen, why not? Why couldn't it happen?
Well, the last 50 or so laps have kind of told their own tale. There's been about 8 cautions in that span. So, and I think the most we ran was maybe 6 laps under green flag, maybe 7. So at one time, which that would be a good run here for these guys. Hopefully get a couple laps, see where everybody fans out. Might be able to get it to, go green like you just said. But I just don't feel it happening. As we're coming back for this green flag here, and on the bottom, Christian Peterson and Corey Henry here.
Well, the pace car going to dive to the bottom. Green flag will go back underway. 71 truck, Christian Peterson checks up the bottom line just a bit. Everybody keeps it straight right now, and he's going to take over that race lead. A little bit of contact for second. Frank Brasilia looking to the inside. He's going to get side by side. Now look at the 88 trying to force it. 3 wide right there. Oh, look at the run he's got off of turn number 4.
Oh my gosh.
That's fresh tires right there. I'll tell you what, Gabe, that's pretty awesome.
I'll tell you. Yeah, Gabe, I don't know. You're speechless. I don't even know.
You guys were talking about the cautions a second ago. I'm just getting back to the booth now. They're selling the official Bristol Motor Speedway gas mask in the concession stands.
Oh, nice. We don't want these cardboard figures to fall down on us from not being able to breathe. Well, anyway, Christian Peterson. Christian Peterson has pulled out to a pretty comfortable lead here at Bristol. The 88 trying with the fresh tires to catch up to him. He made it from 6th all the way to 2nd rather quickly with some bold moves after that restart. Green flag has been out for quite a bit right now. This time by, we'll have 15 laps to go as Christian Peterson works his way off of turn number 4. Battle for 5th really starting to heat up. That's Corey Henry, and that's 64 of Alex Hallinar. They're side by side, and they're side by side just in front of them as well. Frank Fusilia trying to get that spot away and keep that spot away from Jose Ramirez right now, and off of turn number 4, at 94, going to take that spot and give him the full 3rd place now as they run. Still going on a pretty good battle for that 5th spot. Corey Henry has it. Alex Hallinar in that 8 of Dana Osborne looking to take that away from him as they run. The lead continues to increase lap after lap right now, but it looks like everybody's kind of settled down for the time being. Look at 64 Hallinar now looking to the inside of Corey Henry. That's a side-by-side battle for that 5th spot.
Yeah, and I tell you what, the biggest thing I think it's going to come, if we stay green, it's going to come down to lap cars, because you see that 71 getting pretty close to the back of the field right now, about half a straightaway. Mark Jorgensen about halfway straightaway behind him. But, we've completed just now 10 laps under green. We've got about 10 left to go. They're going to get to them. And whether it's going to be hard to get around or not, it's still not a very easy place to pass. So it's really going to come down to lap traffic, and we might see like a Dale Earnhardt, Terry Labonte episode here, but we'll see here in the next coming laps.
Yeah, that we will. Christian Peterson now working his way off of turn number 4 across the start-finish line. That'll give us 9 laps left to go here at Bristol. He's working his way now around that 24 truck of Ryan Keese. Lap down. Another lap down, I should say. He goes 14 now. He sits in 17th spot. So far the lap traffic hasn't been a hinder to that 71 truck, and he continues to pull away lap after lap from that 88 of Mark Jorgensen Jr. And I think at this point that 88 would be very happy with a second-place finish.
No, it's Mark Jorgensen. He wants to win. There's a caution. There it is. There's the caution that 88 needed. But it's going to be real close now. We're going to have maybe a green-white checkered, maybe a green-white at the same time. But it looks like the 35 of Brandon, I'm not going to try to say his last name again, Monsavice is what it is. But that's a cool name, but it's hard to say up here in the booth. But unfortunately there in turn 2, he... Actually, that was turn 3. Before, Tommy Hall actually got pretty loose coming out of 1. And he hit the 32 of Seth the Merchant, hit the 35, and up and over goes Brandon. And landed on all 4 wheels, though, Andy, and kept going.
That he did, but a lot of smoke billowing from that race truck right now as he heads down. Nope, he's going to stay on the racetrack. Thought he'd go down pit road here, but he's going to stay on the apron there as that truck continues to puff some smoke out of the back end. Christian Peterson, he is our race leader here as the lap down trucks start to get their wave bys here. And going to have a handful, I think, with that 88 truck. Mark Jorgensen Jr. It's got fresher tires, not the freshest, but they are a lot fresher than that 71 truck. So whatever amount of laps we have left here, it's going to be pretty exciting to finish this one out here tonight at Bristol.
Yeah, and that 88, it's really going to have to be on top of his game. We've seen a lot the last couple of restarts. Really, that leader gets out pretty quick by himself. So if that 88 can't get going, it's really going to be down to a battle. If that 71 gets clear off of turn 2 or even turn 1, it might be race over because we're really going to have just this one last restart, even if we get one. So it may be a green-white at the same time coming to the checkered, but we'll still wait to see when they double file up here in the next lap or two if we're going back green.
Now we should be able to get at least 1, maybe 2 laps under the green. We didn't cross that threshold of 5 laps to go yet, so we should get at least 1, maybe 2 laps to finish this one out. Time by, we'll have 3 laps to go, and hopefully they double it up now. We'll get 2 to go when they take the green flag, and the answer is double them up. Maybe. 2 to go. So yes, all right, two laps to go. This should be fun.
Fun for us. Fun for them, maybe not. I see for sure it's going to be fun for the 7188. I don't know. That 88, if that 71 gets clear going into off of 2, I'm sure we're going to see that dive bomb 88 special. So I don't know. That 94 might be in the hot bird seat. He might be the one looking for the win here.
Yeah, that he might as they work their way across the stripe. It's going to give us 2 laps to go, so we're going to have a 1-lap shootout here, fellas.
Rain checkered.
It's going to be a green-white, and then it'll be a checker. So they're going to take the green and the white at the same time here this next time by. So only 1 lap to do it, and look at that Ford truck there sitting there in 8th place, smoking like crazy. He's going to actually drop down to the apron and let everybody pass. He's going to... Oh, this might...
No, it's not going to delay it.
I was going to say, if this delays the green, then we are going to not finish this one out, but... Oh, I will lose it. Anyway, pace car down and off, and for the final time, the final restart of the night. 71 set to Merchant. He's going to do battle now with the 88 as they get a pretty good... Oh, Jose Ramirez giving that 88 a push, and they almost spun each other out. Look at Frank Busilia. Makes contact with the 88. He's going to push him out of the way as they head into turn number 3 for the final time. And Christian Peterson will get the win as they race 3 wide for second. It's a battle.
Oh, it's a big wreck.
Amazing finish right there for the second spot. Josue Ramirez pulling it out. Frank Busilia and Mark Jorgensen Jr., all 3 of them were 3 wide coming to the stripe, and they made contact just as they got to the start-finish line. Pretty good finish right there for that second spot, and a good finish for the 75 of Josue Ramirez.
Oh, man, a couple tempers definitely flaring out there right now, and 3 wide, that would have been awesome if it was for the finish, but that 71 just took off, and Christian Peterson there finished almost a whole second, or 3/4 of a second in front of the field just after 1 lap, but what a good finish for second place, and I tell you what, hopefully there's not that many cautions here in the next hour or two when we get going to super speedway racing.
Well, I highly doubt it. I mean, typically those super speedway races end up pretty good, only a couple, especially in these feature races, which we will see coming up in just a little bit. But first, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll talk to our top 3 finishers here at Bristol Motor Speedway. You've been watching the Roddcar Truck Tour, season number 2, right here on LSRTV, the voice of sim racing. Welcome back to Bristol Motor Speedway. You've been watching a Roddcar truck tour. Just had the conclusion of a pretty interesting race, to say the least. Tempers are definitely there, and we'll see if that'll bounce into next week. But first, give you a full field rundown right here. As they finished in this one tonight, Christian Peterson came home as your winner. Josue Ramirez in a three-way battle for that second spot comes out on top. Third place goes to the 94 of Frank Busilia. Mark Jorgensen Jr. finished fourth. Fifth goes to the 64 of Alex Hallinar. Seth the Merchant finishes sixth. Seventh goes to Corey Henry. Sean Bowney comes home eighth. Ninth goes to Matt Quick, and Ray Rittenauer rounds out the top 10.
11th's going to go to the 23 of Jared Haggerty. Dana Osborne finishes in 12th. Last car on the lead lap. 2 laps down in 13th for Tommy Hall. We saw him get up front there toward the end, but just too many wrecks end up costing him his race. Sean Turner finishes 3 laps down. Brandon Montsevias in the 15th position. 16th is going to go to the 50 of Laura Lawson. Ryan Keeson 17th. 18th is going to go to the 11 of Mark Emery. Derek Walker in 19th. And Daniel Ferguson rounds out your top 20.
Most of these guys had unfortunate events for the right. James Pileski, 34 laps down. Rod Flagg, Kelly Dahl, Kyle Manger, and Case Mill round out your top 25. 26, Jason Altman's 27th. Rodney Wofford, bad night for him. Kent Connolly finishes 28th. 29th, Remote Evans. Shane McKeechin rounds out your field, 104 laps down.
And that it does. And we're going to send it back down to Josh Ball. He's caught up with our third place finisher here tonight, and that was Frank Busilia.
Frank, down here on pit road, Frank Busilia, the champ. Interesting is what I could say. I was here for part of the race, and lots of cautions. Lots of cautions, huh?
Rough. It was rough. That's all it is, man. That was crazy and rough, and I don't even know.
Well, it was really, I think what it came down to is the survival of the fittest, more of like survival of the most well-built truck, I guess you'd say.
I suppose. I mean, I just want to apologize. I think I hit the wall early in the race, and I know Christian came up to apologize. I don't think that was really his fault, but sorry to whoever was in that. I shouldn't have been in the wall on the front stretch, but anyway, yeah, it was. I figured I was done. I had like 3 minutes of damage and just kept getting cautions. Got it all repaired, and I was taking tires every time. So that I guess second to last caution, I stayed out and was able to hold track position. It was and 3 wide coming to the line of Bristol. That was pretty fun too. So I didn't mind.
Yeah, tell us about that last lap. You know, I know you guys got it going through your heads. You're like, all right, let's get one more restart, and then you get 1 lap to go. You start in third on that one. Tell us what you were thinking coming to that green and then that lap. Just what you were trying to do.
Well, I was fine with it going green. I had Jose beat for third, but on the restart, I thought I went right with Christian, and I went into the corner. I don't know if 75 gave me a shot or not, or if I was just really tight and used up all my stuff, but I washed up into Mark. He fell back a little bit. Then in the 3, I just completely overdrove it, and Jose got under me, Mark got above me, and I mean, we were all staying in it from the middle of 3 on, and we came out like that. That was pretty fun.
Spectacular finish there for second and third, fourth place tonight. Anyway, Frank, you get your business going on here later here in a little bit on the iSuper Speedway Series, but any shout-out spots you'd like to thank before we let you go get ready for that?
Yeah, of course. Thank you guys for bearing with that race, I guess. But as always, you all do a great job. I want to thank the wife for letting me race virtual NASCAR on Friday nights. And, just hoping Laura's doing well. I see her around here tonight. I was thinking about her, and we'll go get him in the Super Speedway Cup.
Once again, everybody, that's Frank Busiala, P3 tonight. And I think Gabe's down there trying to catch up with Jose Ramirez after that that wild finish and just checked out of the Infield Care Center.
Yeah, if the car and the driver wasn't beat up before on that last lap, it sure was. Josue did a great job bringing that 75 truck home. They tried to wreck you multiple times, but you just wouldn't quit.
Oh yeah, that was pretty exciting right there. That was a really good finish for me. I I haven't been racing too long, but yeah, that was pretty good.
Now, we saw you make your way up front from the 21st starting position. You had a very good truck. Do you think, you kind of made your way up there early? Did you really think you had a truck to take the lead and maybe get the win?
Maybe I could. I don't really know. I was just holding my pace and just working my way through. And then I realized I was top 5 or something until I wrecked. But yeah, it was a good run.
Now tonight, was it kind of hard to get in a rhythm because we would get 1 or 2 laps and then a caution. You just couldn't get into that rhythm running whatever lane you wanted to. You seem to be all over the racetrack just trying to find the line. Did you ever find that rhythm with the number of cautions we had?
Not really. I was just running with the guys. Mostly the high line was working, and right at the end I just went to the bottom. That's the only way I thought I could go.
Now you brought it home in second position. It was hard fought. Tell us about that last lap.
Yeah, I just saw that hole at the end of entering turn 3, and I just have to take it, and yeah, I went for it, and I kind of hold it until turn 4, and right at the end, that was sweet.
All right, you brought that Tide ride home in the second position. Any sponsors you want to thank before we let you celebrate?
Yeah, I just gonna thank my guys here on Tide and here at the Colegio Racing Engineering for helping me. And yeah, everything's gonna be set up for the next race.
All right, that's Josue Ramirez, driver of the 75 truck, takes a beaten, battered truck to the second place finish. Congratulations, Josue. We're gonna talk to the winner. Andy, I believe you've caught up with Christian Peterson.
Yeah, that's right. I am down here in Victory Lane and having some interesting conversations with a bunch of people. But Christian Peterson, you found your way to the front when it mattered the most at the end there. How'd you survive this one and pull out the victory?
I don't know. That was crazy, but all I got to say is 2 in a row, baby.
That's right. A big couple of weeks for you and your team, actually, coming off some big wins at Rockingham and, of course, picking up the victory at Darlington for your teammate in the 32 truck. I mean, you guys, your team has been on a roll here lately, and we've kind of hit some interesting tracks for the first time in the Roddcar Truck Tour with those two I mentioned, and then now Bristol tonight, and then, of course, Martinsville next week. So a lot of short track action, something we didn't see in Season 1, and it is Bristol. I mean, you're going to have races like this where you get caution after caution at this track, and then other times you'll get some long green flag runs, but it's one of those you really never know until you get the race started, and tonight was just one of those nights.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I started like 7th or something, and I was just planning on riding around like top 5, trying to stay in the top 10, not burn my tires up too much, and I mean, I don't want to say I expected it to be like it was, but I was expecting a lot of cautions. I wasn't expecting as many as there were, but it was. We got into a little incident on the backstretch with Frank and a couple other guys, not being able to check up in time. It's just the product of Bristol, but we rebounded from it, got it the damage fixed. So I only had like a minute and a half, and just played it safe from there. Tried to avoid what we could, and cars were just spinning left and right in front of me, and braking left and right, just trying to avoid all that mess. It was fun for me trying to avoid it, and challenge myself with it. But I wish we could have had a longer green flag run there.
Well, we had a pretty decent one, probably the longest one there at the end before we got that final caution. Had that 1-lap sprint to the finish, and your truck was just on a roll at that point. It just seemed like you had obviously one of the fastest trucks on the racetrack, and once you got to that lead, you were really able to show that and pull out to a sizable, I believe it was about a 2-second lead over Mark Jorgensen. So you had the truck, you had the speed in the truck, at least if it did go in a long green flag run, you had them covered there, but you also had them covered on those restarts at the end of the race when it mattered the most for you, especially on that last lap. So it was a fun one to watch, and I know heading to Martinsville next week, it should be some fun action as well. And with that said, another victory for yourself in the Roddcar Truck Tour, and obviously sponsors, shout-outs. There's other people behind the scenes that help you get here.
Yeah, I just got to thank P-Money Designs. He paints the trucks for everybody on Six Man. He does a great job, truck quality paint schemes. Got to thank, I had a spotter that tonight, Dan Dunham. He helped me through a lot of that stuff, getting through all that. Who else? I don't know, you guys and Rod Flagger for putting on the league. This was it was a test to what we could do tonight, and hopefully we can improve from what we did.
Well, we get that chance, but we also have the chance of some tempers reappearing next week from some guys that might not be too happy with what happened here tonight. But next week's a new week, and we'll be excited to see that again here Friday night next weekend. And but first, we got some more business to do. We got the I Super Speedway Series coming up next, and we look forward to seeing you there too.
Yep, look forward to being there. Thanks, guys.
There you have it, our winner here tonight at Bristol, and had an interesting chat there at the end with Mark Jorgensen Jr. He said, "How'd I look out there?" And I said, "Well, your truck didn't look that good." And his response was, "It's Bristol, baby," and he's absolutely right. I mean, like I talked to Christian about, guys, it's one of them tracks. You're either going to have some long green flag runs. You're going to get cautions. There's no doubt about it when you have this many trucks on a racetrack like this, but. It's one of those, you're either going to have that or you're going to have a lot of green flag runs, split up by cautions. But tonight it was just one of those nights, and you know what? It's not a product of driver talent, and I really think it's a product of the race. I mean, we saw one of those cautions there with a huge netcode issue where we actually could fit a whole nother truck in between two of them. So it's not all the driver's fault, but it's definitely one of those things, just a hard racetrack to get around.
And yeah, it's half a mile track. There's not really too much to go. But Andy, really, I think next week is going to be the test. In Martinsville, there's a lot more places to, I guess you can say, Jorgensen somebody than here at Bristol. But
new phrase.
Yeah, new phrase, Jorgensen. But he definitely was interesting. Lots of cautions, a lot of good racing though. I definitely like seeing the intensity out there. Everybody racing as hard as they can to get the spots. So good racing. I'm sure tempers are flaring now, so it'd be great for this B main coming up here in a few minutes.
Yeah, Andy, Josh, you got to remember when we go to the paperclip at Martinsville. Yeah, you can dive bomb somebody, but you've got a steep curve, or you got a steep curb and some grass. So that's something else to think about when we go to Martinsville. But yeah. I really didn't expect, this many cautions, really, but it really doesn't surprise me here at Bristol. No matter who you come here with, it could be the pros or the rookie series. It's just, it just, like Josh said, nowhere to go, and you end up getting guys together. It's a very good race there toward the end. Great finish, 3 guys sliding across the start-finish line for second. I'm glad I was up here in the booth to call it.
Absolutely, and we'll look for more excitement next week as the Truck Series heads to Martinsville Speedway. But we got our second half of our Friday night doubleheader coming up in just about 20 minutes or so. It's the I Super Speedway Series, and it's going to be live right here on LSRTV and iRacing Live, and we're looking forward to that as well. For more information on the I Super Speedway Series, you can visit them at isuperspeedway.com, and of course, on Twitter at iSuperSpeedway, and on Facebook at facebook.com/iSuperSpeedway. Of course, you can keep up to date with us at livesimracing.com and on facebook.com/livesimracingtv. But that's enough for now. We're going to get about a 20-minute break, and we'll see everybody back here, right here on LSRTV for the second half of our doubleheader here tonight, and that is, of course, the I Super Speedway Cup Series. And they get set to battle in 2 mains, a 25-lap feature in the B main, and then a 50-lap sprint feature for the A main here tonight. And we all look forward to seeing that. We'll see you in just about 20 minutes' time, and we'll do that next.